podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smartmove360. We go live in our Facebook group every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are inviting experts of different walks of life to talk with us about health, how we could improve it, and how it may affect this diagnosis. Let's go. All right. Hello, and welcome. Welcome those who just discovered us, and welcome back for those who are following us and watching our episodes. You know that every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going live into our Facebook group, and also we have a YouTube channel, so you could find us there as well. But also, there is one thing that everyone needs to know, that on the last Thursday of the month, I am inviting diabetic warriors to be my guests. So if you feel that you are the one who wants to share your story with the group, please reach out to me and we will schedule you to be my next guest on the last Thursday of the month. All right, with that, today we have an expert, and we go across the globe. Diabetes, this is a global problem, health challenge, and people everywhere are facing it. So today's guest that I have is from the other part of the world. We met on this World Wide Web, but she is from Australia, whole way from there. So Carleigh, please welcome and introduce yourself. Tell us what you are doing, and we will start conversation.
Thanks so much. It's my pleasure to be here. You can probably tell from my accent, I'm not from Australia originally. I am from Canada, but I live in Australia now. So, like you said, very worldwide. I am a holistic mental wellness coach. And essentially, what I do is show people how to heal from anxiety, depression, and bipolar without using medication. Now, I know that today we're here to talk more about diabetes. And I have a lot of experience and expertise speaking on lifestyle, speaking on self-care, speaking on how every aspect of our lives, of our days, are so interrelated and how they're always affecting every aspect of our health. So that is where my area of expertise with mental health and physical health come together to also be really applicable to helping people manage and heal and manage the symptoms of diabetes as well.
Absolutely. And this is why I wanted to invite you to this podcast, because very often people call diabetes a lifestyle disease. Very often we uh, live such an intense life that there is no time to take care of ourselves. Very often our lifestyle is such that before we know it, we find ourselves in doctor's office, or even worse, in the hospital, and we learn about our diagnosis there. So, Carleigh, the question: how the change in the lifestyle can affect the way how whatever diagnosis might be present, because very rarely we have just diabetes. Very often it's more, it brings a friend. It may be high blood pressure, it may be some eye problem, nerves problems. So what kind of changes of a lifestyle can bring a positive change in people who are struggling with their diagnosis? They just got diagnosed, they don't know what to do.
Yeah. So the thing about lifestyle that's so powerful is that ultimately your lifestyle is essentially made up of all of your daily habits and routines that feed into each other. And when these are habits that are maybe trending towards eating unhealthy food or staying up really late watching shows in the evening, these sorts of things that are unfortunately very normal in our mainstream society. This is actually contributing to poor both physical and mental health. And
Yes.
those two are very interrelated, right? When our minds are unhappy, our bodies aren't functioning at their highest either. There's a lot of feedback happening between the two. So when we start to think about shifting our lifestyle, it's really about taking baby steps to bring in healthier habits, whether that's, learning how to make your favorite meal in a healthier way, by substituting for, whole grain pasta instead of white pasta, and using more vegetables in that meal. Little changes like this, but over time, as you bring in these small shifts and you start to move your body that little bit more in the morning, and start to prioritize your sleep, and start really tuning into what your body needs and offering yourself that self-care, because again, self-care is, you can build a whole lifestyle based around self-care, like mine is. um,
Mm-hmm.
it allows healing to really work itself into every aspect of your day. So again, when we talk about shifting lifestyle, it can feel really big. It can feel like a huge, big shift. And we're not trying to say you need to turn your whole life upside down. We're trying to
Yes.
say, here's how you can bring in small changes on a daily basis. Get up in the morning, get some sunlight in your eyes, and move your body for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, if that's all you have, before you go and start your day. And when you're eating your food, focus on what you're eating, focus on how it tastes and how it feels, and notice how your body feels an hour, 2 hours later after eating that meal. When you're always receiving this feedback from your body and then adjusting things, if you notice you've eaten a meal and now you're feeling really sluggish and you want to take a nap, that's probably not something that you should maybe be feeding yourself. It's probably not giving you that much benefit from the nutrition. So using these feedback cues to shift things up, and it's trial and error because everyone is so different, and building that lifestyle around what is actually helping me feel healthy and thriving, and how can I set myself up for success so I can wake up in the morning and feel ready to go and have a great day.
Yes. Well, you see, this is you talking about it, and I'm thinking that so often people, when they hear that they need to change their lifestyle, they immediately giving up without even trying it, because they say this is, and I've seen it, oh, this is, I cannot do that, this is too much, I was raised with those traditions and I
Mm,
cannot go against that because I live in this culture. And because we are global, the diabetes is global. Even on the territory, United States territory, Northern America territory, right? There are areas where people work in the morning and work in the evening,
mm.
eat specific kinds of food, celebrate specific kinds of traditions. And this is so affecting, and it's hard to break the habits, right? So, yes, small things, small changes, small increments. Uh, do you have any suggestion for people how they can say, yeah, I do the small changes, but how can I keep it working? How can I stay motivated? Because it's hard.
It is hard. And motivation is probably the hardest factor in all of this. And I think the an interesting perspective to think about motivation is that if you're waiting until you feel like doing something, if you're like, I'm not going to exercise because I don't feel like it, odds are you're never going to actually feel like it. You're never going to want to
Mhm.
do that thing. So instead of acting from a place of how do I feel right now, if you start acting from a place of how do I want to feel 1 hour from now, or
Yes.
tomorrow, or next week, and you put your future self, their needs above your current self's feelings and low motivation, then you'll constantly be taking action in ways that are going to benefit you later instead of feed your present comforts. So that's a cool piece to try and get motivated. And I would also say that self-love is really massive here, because when you do truly love yourself and you want to feel your best, and you no longer want to suffer and be feeling crappy and struggling with your health, when you really want that well-being because you know that you deserve it, and you have that core self-love, it becomes so much easier to put your future self's needs above your present self's, laziness or whatever is coming up for you.
Well, yes, I know that it's for me as well, and I know that my family members sometimes like, but I want it now. I
Mm,
want whatever it is. Maybe it's, I want this piece of cake
mm,
now. I don't want to wait for a month from now and assume that a month from now I will not want it. I want it now and I don't care. Or I am not going for a walk because I am not in the mood. So, it's kind of hard um, to find this way to imagining,
mm,
kind of like I don't know. It's you need to learn to dream. I would like
mm.
to be that person, right? And I am the person who goes for a walk or doesn't need the cake. Or what do you think? Do you think that approach may help?
Absolutely. I mean, shifting identity is massive. And if you it's like someone who's quitting smoking. If you're quitting smoking and you have the idea of I am quitting, it's a lot harder to say no to that cigarette versus if you have the identity of I need to sneeze, I'm sorry. Excuse me. If you
Bless
have
you.
the identity of I don't smoke. When you shift that identity, I don't smoke. Someone offers you a cigarette. No, I don't smoke. Instead of I'm
Mhm.
quitting, which is, oh, but I'm in the space of quitting. So maybe I'll still have one more. When we shift our identity and we make our mind up about something, it becomes so much easier to implement that thing. And I think when it comes to habits, this is really powerful because if you start shifting your mindset around who you are and that identity piece to I am someone who moves my body every day. I move my body every day. I exercise every day. Whatever that means. It doesn't have to mean that you go run a marathon. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
mean that you go lift heavy weights, but if you start to believe that you move your body every day, which is true, everybody does, no matter what
Yes.
your lifestyle is, you're moving
Yes.
every day, then you're going to show yourself ways that that is true. And you're going to bring in more of that movement. And you're sitting on the couch and I don't really feel like moving, but I move my body every day. So I'm going to do this because that's part of who I am.
That's a
It's
good thing. You said something earlier today about paying attention how your body
mm,
feels or responds to what you've done earlier.
hmm
Say you ate something and you feel sluggish, or you ate something different and you feel energetic. This
hmm
is this is, I think, a good habit to somehow to build, listening to your body, because so often we just do the routine without thinking about it, and then later in the day it's even hard to remember what did I do today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you think, what would you say, how we can, what trick we can use to be more aware, to remember to talk to our bodies? Is there anything that we can help ourselves with that? Because I need to learn that too.
Yeah, well, I would say it's really about continuous self-reflection, right? And it's not even just what we're eating. It's the environments that we're exposed to,
Yes.
it's the people we spend time with, it's the way that we move our bodies or don't move our bodies. If you really start to tune in and self-reflect, this can be through journaling. Now, when it comes to food, we eat so many times a day, like if you're
Yeah.
like me, I eat 4 or 5 times a day between my meals and my snacks. Like I am always eating. So to have a food journal and write down every time how I'm feeling an hour later, it's a lot. I'm probably never going to keep up with that. So
Yes.
it really becomes more of an internal representation of, I had some pizza and now I really don't feel like doing anything but
Hmm.
sitting on the couch and, watching a movie. And every now and then it's okay to let yourself have that. If you're like, I actually want to have some pizza and not do anything tonight, like don't try to be extremist and say I'm never having that food again, but have it less if you know it's not something that's going to make you feel good, and bring in more of the foods. Like this morning I had porridge with a banana and a bunch of nuts and seeds. And right now it's still morning for me. I feel energized. I feel ready for the day. I'm awake and my brain is on and I'm here and I don't feel like taking a nap. And I know that that porridge is something that fuels me. So I bring that in on a regular basis because my
Yeah.
body responds well to it. Right. So it's noticing if you're in one of those places where you don't really feel like going for a walk, but you end up making yourself go for that walk, how do you feel after that compared to
Yeah.
before? And then how can you use that feeling as motivation for the next time that you're in that space where you don't really feel like it, but you know last time you felt better afterwards. So let's do it again. And again, yeah, journaling at the end of the day can be really powerful to be like, here's what I did. And then here's how my mood shifted through the day.
Yeah.
But ultimately it's about learning to become self-aware and noticing how your body's feeling at all moments.
Yes. Well, yeah, I just thought about it. Um, a lot of people, when they start tracking their blood sugar, they check it before meal, 2 hours later after the meal,
Mm-hmm.
and they see what their levels are. At the same time, when you check it 2 hours later, the number is this. Uh, and how do I feel at the same
Yes.
time? Take a note. How do I feel? Am I feeling energetic or I'm feeling sluggish? Maybe I'm very irritated, I'm
Mm.
feeling very angry, or I'm feeling happy and smiley, and I don't know why I'm smiling. I am just, and this is all I think all together helps. I am a big fan of keeping this journaling, just reporting this feelings, this reactions to whatever whatever irritation you had.
Yeah.
It may be the activities, it may be the food, it may be the conversation with someone, and the bad phone call, the bad news, or a good news and a good sleep, good night's sleep. All this, if we start putting it together, 1 month later, just go over the notes and see, oh, on those days when I had this breakfast as you described, I was much more energetic and was not hungry until my next meal. I didn't need to have bunch of snacks because that
Mm-hmm.
was a good breakfast that I had. Yeah, journaling. I love it. I love it. I'm always telling it that to anyone who is asking me how can I help, just start taking notes
Yeah.
because this is important, right? And I have a friend, she's a doctor, and she is talking like we all are saying that bring some more movements. And as you mentioned, it could be any kind of movement,
Yeah.
not necessarily going to gym or running or something. It could be just the regular, the basic, the boring. Park your car further away and walk to the store or to the office building, right? Extend the length of your movement. And the doctors say, and when you walk, you not just drag yourself through the
Yeah.
parking lot, but march and say, I am walking. And just change the attitude about your walking. And it also
Mm-hmm.
helps, right?
Yeah, and just let your body move. Like you mentioned it can be just like the boring park your car and walk, but let yourself have fun with it. Like have a dance party in your kitchen before you cook dinner and move your
Yes.
body in whatever way you want to move when no one is looking and put on your favorite song and that counts as exercise. And also tuning into the ways that you're already moving. Like if you're vacuuming and mopping your house, there's a lot of physical activity involved in that you're maybe not paying much attention to. And then, like you said, change your attitude towards that and focus on, while you're doing these motions, I'm getting my workout in. So I'm going to tighten my core and I'm going to fully be here and focus on how I'm moving while I'm cleaning my house. So it's recognizing the ways that you're already doing good things for yourself and then just enhancing those as well.
Definitely. Thank you for reminding it. Because once I'm wearing there is, those health
Mhm.
bands, and I never paid attention to how many calories I burned. But one day after walking around the house with a vacuumer and doing all these kind of activities, I burned more calories than I burned during my morning walk. And during the morning walk, I am active, I am
Mhm.
moving fast. And here I was just doing this activity which burned more calories for me than the exercise.
Yeah.
That's cool to think. Okay, let's talk about the tips. We already started on it. What would be another tip that will help people to improve their lifestyle? Because we need to make changes.
Yeah.
We, if we continue live the lifestyle that brought us to this diagnosis, relying only on medication, medication can slow down the progression of a disease, but it will not change it. But if we would like to reverse it, put it in bed, to live our life independently of this diagnosis, we do need to make changes.
Yes.
So, what are the kinds of changes you may recommend for people? Not all at a time, but one at a time.
Yeah. So the fastest way to really bring in transformation and change in your life is to actually change your environment. And this
Uh-huh.
is not only your physical space, which, you can give this to yourself and give yourself a bit of a clean out of the space and, set up an area where you can do your exercise, whether that's, a yoga mat on the floor where you can stretch and have a dance party and move your body in whatever way. Or that's going through your kitchen and, throwing out the food that's at the back of the cupboard that you're probably not going to eat, or finding the healthy food that's in there that you've kind of been ignoring and giving yourself that kind of clean out. But as well, it's looking at what spaces are you hanging out in? Where are you spending time? Who are you surrounded by? And what do the other people's and, what do the lifestyles look like in the areas
Mhm.
where you're hanging out? So if you're wanting to bring more of a healthy lifestyle in, go spend time with people that are already living that lifestyle, whether that's like
Yes.
I'm a yoga teacher, so the first thing that comes to mind is go to the local yoga studio and sign up for a membership and start to meet people that way, or join a local walking club, or starting to meet people that have similar goals to you, because odds are you've been surrounded by people who are living a very similar lifestyle to you, and if you're trying to shift that while still staying in that same social circle, not that you need to abandon your friends by any means, but it's really powerful to start to bring in people that are moving in the same direction as your goals.
This is such a great idea. You're right. Change your environment. Make some. The changes need to be made, and we already are doing. And my company is Smartmove360, and I am talking about that we do need to make some moves. Do need to make some changes. And 360 degrees. That's
Yeah.
how we approach diabetes, anyways. I'm not saying change it all together at the same time, right? But one step at a time, a little bit, you add a little bit water, take a little bit out, of sweets. I'm talking about water, right?
Mhm.
Add a little bit of more steps in your daily
Yeah.
routine. Increase the amount of sleep that you do, right? The kind of like shorten the time that you spend on social media. And you're right that surround yourself, start looking for more people who you want to be when you grow up,
Yeah.
right?
When you grow up.
That's, I find so many people around me right now, some of them younger than me, but I still kind of like, I look at them like, you are the one who I want to be when I grow up. And it still applies
Yeah.
even I'm, I already considered grown up. Yes, exactly, exactly. Carleigh, I know that we could talk about all this for a longest while, but we are coming to the end of this conversation.
Mhm.
I hope our listeners learned something that they can start using right away in their lives, and that will help them to work with their diagnosis and improve their health condition. If they need to speak with you, if they want to reach out to you, What would be the best way to do that? And if you can give us some um, ideas where to find you, will be great. I mean, they always can reach out to me, but if they are listening to us while they're driving or not in our Facebook group, but somewhere on YouTube, how they can find you? What will be the best way to do it?
Yeah, so the easiest way to reach out personally is through Instagram, and you can follow me on Instagram to get more tips as well for healing both your mind and body, and that's at manas.mastery. That's MANAS.mastery. And as well, I have a free guide that's, again, my work is all in mental health. It's all about the first step towards overcoming anxiety, which I know ties in so directly with physical health, with diabetes, with overall health in general. And you can download that guide at monasmastery.com/freebie. If you're watching this as a video, you can see that little link in the corner down there. And that's an amazing way to receive my email as well. And then you can reach out to me that way.
Perfect. And now, I wanted to ask you, what is Manas Mastery?
Mhm.
What it means?
I get asked that question a lot. So,
Okay.
manas is a Sanskrit word for mind or thought processes. So, essentially, it's what my business name means is mastering your mind.
Okay,
Mental
perfect.
mental
Thank you.
mastery, mind mastery. Yeah.
Great. I got a little bit of education today, which I appreciate. Thank you. Well, let me do a little bit of a housekeeping because I need to remind everyone about what is going on in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. And every day of the week, we have some activities. On Mondays, Monica M. Henderson, our agent of change, is coming up with a little inspirational Monday talk about that. On Tuesdays, we have our Telenurse Tuesday, where our nurses are uh, helping you to make interpretation of your treatment plan or find some answers that you might have, and especially if you don't have uh, the visit with the doctor's office in a short period of time. Every other Wednesday, we have support group meetings. And during those meetings, this is 1 hour in Zoom, not in Facebook. Our group members meet and we talk, and sometimes, often, we have some healthcare professionals joining us. So they are helping to answer those questions or find some solutions that may be helpful. Of course, every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we have our Diabetically Speaking with Smartmove360 podcast that we are inviting different healthcare professionals to talk with us about healthy life that we could have and from the diabetic perspective. And on every last Thursday of the month, I just wanted to remind it one more time, we have the Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360 Warriors Edition. So if you know of some successful person who was able to get a grip of their diagnosis and willing to share their experience, or maybe you are the one, or maybe you are the one who is struggling and needs some um, support, come to us, connect with me, and we will have this conversation so people will feel that this is not only their problem and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Every Friday at 9 a.m., we have our own Trevor Brown hosting Fitness Fridays. He is showing different exercises, he is showing different activities that we can do to help us to stay in a healthy uh, situation and how we can improve our body's condition. All right. And I also need to say about our sponsors, it's people and companies that are helping me to be with you every week and bring our wonderful guest. This is Mink Life Motivation, On Balance Entertainment, Life Based Solutions, and Empower People That Care. These are the companies that we are working with, that are helping us, and I am trying to let you know about them. If you need more connections with them, reach out. With that, Carleigh, thank you again. Good morning to you. Thank you for getting up early and connecting with us. And this way, uh, people on the other side of a pond also represented in our great community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This was such a fun conversation.
All right. Thank you. And we will stay in touch. Have a great day.
Bye.